This is my channel right here. It's called DMC Session. Yo, how's it going, everybody? I go by the name of Apendule Pakate, and this is the DMC Sessions. It's been a long time since I did this. I had to go through a lot of life, I guess, but I thought this is a good time to come back to this channel, to come back to the DMC Sessions. And I have a special guest today who is going to introduce himself, if you could, sir. Introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you come from, what do you do, etc.
Okay, my name is Moagi.
Yeah.
Moagi Seete. I come from a variety of backgrounds in terms of who I am, but originally from Soweto, Dobsonville. Moved to Hillbrow in my early stages of life. Beyond that, now I'm based in the north. I run a gym. I'm a personal trainer and a holistic psychotherapist. I think that's what you'd call it. So I assist people with spiritual therapy, psychological spiritual therapy, and it's pretty much mixed it with the physical aspect of it to the spiritual aspect of it to the medicinal aspect of it, because that's kind of like my background. So with that being said, I have expertise in herbs. I have expertise in body movement, which is fitness training, and only gaining my expertise now with the psychological spiritual therapy of it. Yeah, that's pretty much a short summary of who I am. But beyond that, we will open up as we go.
Alright, no, that's dope, man. Yeah, so like the basis of this channel, for those who also know, is I literally talk to people that I find interesting in life, you know.
Okay.
I don't just talk to anybody. It's based on certain topics that I feel like us as the youth need to hear, to know. Okay. Because there's a lot of things where we don't understand certain things, or we are fed with a lot of toxic media or knowledge or education. So I wanted to take it upon myself, to start a platform where we talk about serious subjects, that we deal with, whether it be spirituality, whether it be politics, whether it be health, whether it be wealth, all of these different things that we just need to think about, to consider. So I chose to speak to Moagi because I do feel like he's one of those guys. As you heard, he is like a lot of things, that are good and positive to the mind, positive to the world. Bringing light into the world, is what we need, especially in these times of like depression and, constant anxieties and unsureties and things, man. You guys know exactly what you're doing. So I just want to first start off on your gym. You say you own a gym. It's called Bodifuel.
Bodifuel,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So tell us more about Bodifuel and what made you start it and what do you aim to achieve with it?
So Bodifuel was more like a calling per se. When I began Bodifuel, I was pretty much a very athletic child growing up, and a lot of people used to gravitate to my abilities. So when social media came through, it obviously gave me a platform to kind of showcase some of the stuff that I used to do. And I guess a lot of people were gravitated to the things that I was doing on social media, and everyone wanted me to train them and so forth and so forth. So I just decided that, maybe let me just do an experiment and start with outdoor boot camps and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And when I took it to that direction, for some reason I got a lot of love and support, and I'm like, okay, this is looking interesting. So I'll do that on a weekly basis, on a weekend, and people will come there and just donate $50, so I'd use that to obviously as my transportation and offer the services and stuff. And I could see that it was a consistent thing that was continuing. And as that was happening, then I got a shout out from some guy in Rivonia, some guy that owned a gym in Rivonia, and he was liking the stories that he was hearing about me. So he's like, you know what, let's do a business exchange where I give you the space, because he had his own gym. He was running a CrossFit and different dynamics of it was almost also like a healing center, so it had sections, so he wanted me to run the physical fitness part of the session of the space. So we had an exchange of an agreement of, okay, you do this and then I do that, and then so that was a mutual agreement that we came to. And then with that being said, it gave me a platform then to aggressively do my experimentation of how much will the market respond to this, and the market responded well. So at some point I started seeing myself running a gym.
Yeah, like walked into it.
I kind of like walked into it,
dope.
Yeah, so it's not something that I planned to do. It was literally just a hobby that I used to share on social media, and then this hobby was following me around, and then eventually I went and established my own space in Rivonia, same area, not too far from the previous one. And only to realize that this gym was I'd say a spider web trap.
What do you mean?
Because a lot of the people that were coming through to the gym were actually seeking spiritual guidance, so this was kind of a very interesting dynamic of people that were showing up, and a lot of them have had what we call spiritual callings in South Africa. I don't know how far this video reaches the world, but we do have this thing called calling in South Africa, where people are called by their ancestors and so forth and so forth. So prior to that, me opening the space, I obviously had my journey of that dynamic, where I was in search, and I obviously had received a different type of calling and was in practice of that. And while I was in practice of that, then as soon as I was getting my maturity into that space, then people were showing up out of nowhere, that was seeking that direction, and for me, I got to realize that was this God's way of trapping me into opening a gym, but now it's turning out to be something else. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was pretty much of an interesting journey that I partook. And with that being said, all the people that were brought to me at the time till now, obviously, they were kind of also initiating me. So they were training me in a sense that them trying to get advice, it almost urged me to want to learn more and find out more, and research more, whether spiritually or through the internet and so forth and so forth. So that was a bit of a very interesting journey that I partook, and now the gym has kind of molded itself to a physical to a psychological therapeutic center that I found myself doing. You know what I mean? So I'm still trying to find that dynamic on how to utilize the two as a synergy, but right now I'm freestyling with where God kind of leads me to it, but yeah, so this business kind of, I would say, created itself, and I just happened to find myself placed in it, you know what I mean? So yeah, so that's briefly what what I'm where I am right now.
So like what do you think with what you said is the importance of mind, body, and soul? Because it sounds like something like that.
Yeah.
You talk about the physical and then the spiritual also.
Yeah.
So how do you feel those three things matter in a human experience?
So through the experience that I went through, I realized that a lot of people separate the body and spirit, and they actually don't know that it's one thing, you know. And why I say that is because if they understand that the body is actually not a solid matter, it's a vibration of particles creating the idea of the solidity, and that solidity is a vibration. So your body is actually consciousness, you know. So you are consciously, it's almost like you are a consciousness that have created this vibration to then create this body that your consciousness or your spirit is now embodied in. So you creating the experience of having a body. So that in itself is already a spiritual thing, because the vibration is a spiritual experience, but because it's made it into a solid matter. So the solid matter is just nothing. It's almost like a language of the spirit.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Okay. So how the solid matter appears is pretty much showing you the language of the spirit. If you get what I'm saying, what's happening spiritually. So the solidity of something cannot occur without the spirit first. Yes. So the spirit is, the solidity is showing you a physical representation of what's happening spiritually. So people don't understand that dynamic. So even sickness is a vibration, is energy, which then the physical representation of it will be a cancer cell or will be whatever that you want, whatever sickness that you're going through. So I kind of started understanding that dynamic of the synergy of the physical cannot actually exist without the spirit, because the spirit is the creator of the physical, you know. And even when you saying you're going through stress or going through an emotional where is that taking place? In your mind. What is your mind? Your consciousness.
Yeah.
So what is that? Then that's a spirit, because it's a feeling. But can you hold the feeling? Can you hold the thought? Can you see it? No, you can't, but it's existing, right? Yes, you know that it's existing. So where does it begin? It begins spiritually. So if you want to punch someone, do you just want to punch someone? No, it started with a thought. And it was manifested into a punch. Yeah. So the punch was a manifestation of what was a thought. And the thought is the spirit. So you get what I'm saying?
No, I can definitely understand.
So people separate that, you know. So I kind of had my eyes open. Some people perceive it as a third eye or whatever it is, where whatever that I see physically, I already know the interaction of it is a physical representation that's telling me information that's happening in someone's spirit, in someone's mind. So I kind of try to dissect it and understand it.
You go to the root.
I go to the root.
You don't like try to hear what's on
the surface. No, you get what I'm saying. And so even understanding that people are having some type of cough or some type of sickness and some type of thing. So I'd want to know what vibration have they gotten themselves involved in? What are they absorbing that is manipulating their consciousness to then manifest what they're experiencing? You know, like for example, if you're someone that is suffering from, like, let's say HIV, the most common thing, right? That is something that is occurring, that you have manifested according to your consciousness, whether there's something that you're not dealing with. And because it's an energy that you have that is existing in your body, this energy is going to manifest things that then will bring the HIV into manifestation. So then you will end up sleeping without someone without a condom.
Yeah, your actions now will start imitating your heart or your spirit.
Yes, because this energy is manifesting the sickness through your consciousness, where you take up these decisions that you're not aware of, that you have these urges of wanting to sleep with the person and that person who has that sickness, and then that sickness that comes, and then it manifests into that was created already through this consciousness. So the consciousness is constantly directing things to manifest according to what it is feeling. You get what I'm saying? So everything is spiritual, every single thing. There is no separation of the spirit and the physical. So yeah, that's just a short brief. But let's hope we can open
short brief.
We can open it up a bit more further.
Okay, so with you, personally, where would you say you stand spiritually? Like, what people ask you, what is your faith? What do you believe? You know, what would you, Moagi, say, okay, this is where I'm at now? Because we know, like, okay, life is an experience. You're always learning, gathering data and information. But right now, in your present time.
Amen. That's a very good question. Very, very good question. I'm not isolated in a religion. I mean, I was isolated in some point of my life in spirituality, but when I got to have a deeper relationship with God, the higher self, you know, I got, and then the being having to have communicated with me that he, she, it, however you put it, because he's everything, she's everything, it everything, you know.
It's the concept. I always feel like the languages, the concept of what is sometimes can mess us up.
Exactly. You get what I'm saying? So he, she's every single thing. His table, his mic, it's you, it's me, it's that watch. Every single thing cannot be created because we are living inside his consciousness. So he's in that religion, he is all these structures, he's in everything, he's in Christianity, it's like you cannot run away from this energy of this being. So obviously humans decided to have fun at the time of their life on earth and started to create these walls, which is religion, and you get what I'm saying. So they wanted to box themselves within structure. They wanted that structure, that faith, but every single person is communicating with this person because or this being, or however you would like to perceive, because he is literally everything. So you're stuck wherever you are. There is no special. I mean, even in the going as deep as the satanic movement. You get what I'm saying? You will find God if you're searching for God in there. If you happen to be dabbling in whatever stuff that you're dabbling with, and then God is like, I am everything. I can communicate with you wherever you are. I can find you wherever you are. So if he plans to take you away from that type of structure, he will take you away from this. The same way he probably placed you in that structure for you to learn whatever you need to learn, whatever lessons that you need to learn. So I'm at a point where, like, I've accepted every single lesson in my life, whether good or bad. But I already understand that the earth is a school that I came to learn whatever that he's brought me here to learn. So, and the most important thing is that I've gotten to a space where I'm responsible with a lot of people's spiritual life.
You became like a shepherd.
You get what I'm saying? But with that being said, I also don't position myself in a way that I'm perfect. so that they can see that as much as I'm leading them, they also leading me in the way they letting me lead them. And with that being said, I also make sure that they also see that I'm just like them. So I make mistake. I'm not going to be a representation of Abu Bushiri. Not to say I'm judging or anything, you know, where you present yourself as this perfect being.
And it's like, well, like I'm so wrong compared to him.
You get what I'm saying? Because then it also puts people that want to rise as kings that they actually allowed to make mistakes. It doesn't. You get what I'm saying? So I have to walk that if I walk the footsteps of a king, I must walk the footsteps of a king. I must lead myself with the footsteps of a king. And that, for me, that looks like being true to yourself, you know, being true to the emotions that you're feeling, being true to the mistakes that you are occurring, not trying to look perfect, because at the end of the day, you might look perfect, but you're always on your own inside your body, so you know truth that you're hiding. You get what I'm saying? So I always try and break away from that prison. You get what I'm saying? So that I don't have the responsibility to feel like I've positioned myself in a way that I have to cater to people's vision of how I want them to see me. You get what I'm saying? And that's pressure. That's pressure.
That's what celebs deal with, I feel.
Exactly. So I don't like, and me having to have known a lot of celebrities, they literally a walking prison. You know, and I don't want that. So in order to lead people, you have to be true. You literally have to be true. Vulnerable. So that then it puts them in a position that, if I want to be a CEO, I can be a CEO, but I'm allowed to be vulnerable, not to, you know. So that's the type of people that I want to lead, you know. So I hope, what was your question? I hope I'm answering your question.
Yeah, you definitely answered it. You tried to paint like the whole picture of it. You basically are saying you're not boxing yourself into a specific
religion
structure system. Yes, because it all goes back to system, because people will always have this need to create systems and to create structure. And I think that comes from wanting power, maybe part of our ego, you know, where we want to put hierarchies and so on. So even though I do feel like in nature there is certain need for hierarchies, you know, like that elders.
Well, let's say systems,
like
structure.
So we want to follow the right structure, the structure of nature, the structure of God,
the natural laws,
rather than the structure of man, what they place.
Which is dented. Which is
full of imperfections,
exactly,
full of flaws.
You get what I'm saying?
And now you're putting yourself as a perfection in an imperfect system.
Exactly.
So that may even turn off certain people who don't understand it.
Exactly. You get what I'm saying? So I don't want to. The thing is, with me, I understand that every single person I meet, you know, even the devil himself, is there to guide me towards God somehow, because God is in control of everything. It's all about how you see it. You get what I'm saying? The devil can offer you something, and then you be like, I can see what God is trying to communicate, even though he doesn't see what he's trying to, how God is using him to guide
evil.
me.
Sometimes he'll use the evil
to guide me. So I always want to have that awareness of wanting to always find that truth. You get what I'm saying? Find that truth and that guidance, and not just always allow my emotion to over control me, or my logic to over control. There needs to be a balance. You get what I'm saying? So then I'm always ready to be guided by the energy of the high one through each and every situation. So if I'm going to lock myself in a religion, you know, then I don't know the different dynamics of communication.
It shows yourself space to grow.
Exactly. You know, so God is constantly communicating with me through a hobo, through each and every single thing
on earth. Earth is his footstool.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting, man. Because I think also a lot of us tend to get confused because we're like, we see all of these different faiths and different people, and we don't know what to do with it, so we rather let it go, and we just live our lives. And sometimes the danger of being in that ignorant state is you could make those bad decisions, or you could go into certain lifestyles that may, ruin your life in a way. I think what we need to, like you said, the evils also can help teach you, because I know for me, I've learned a lot of lessons from going astray, going crazy, and then
most of them are there, funny enough. Most of them are there where you take back decisions and going astray and going through those. I think that's where most of our lessons or teachings are, so we should never, it's all about, sorry for interrupting, but it should never, like for me, man, do you want to change that quickly? Sorry for the interruption, guys. Just maybe pause it so that it doesn't have different changes. I've gotten to learn that the concept of bad is relative, because I've realized that out of that I experienced, there's a beneficial outcome. So we always want to live in the beneficial outcome, which is we call good. We always want to live there, but we don't actually understand that it takes all these different dynamics to create the outcome, which is the bad, then creates the good. Because it's almost like, how do you perceive good without its opposite?
Yeah.
You get what? Or how do you say, I am happy? And then when you're saying you're happy, where were you before that?
Yeah. You have to have had some sadness.
Exactly. You get what I'm saying? That you get so that's why I'm saying it's all perception. You get what I'm saying? It's all perception. So with me, I always look forward to the obstacles, because the obstacles is the joy of the journey. Because if you're always ready to the fact that you still have life on earth, it means you're still learning. Once you're done learning, you don't need to be here. So the fact that you still have breath, it means there's something more that you still need to learn. So never think you know. Never think you know. Because the fact that you're still finding yourself living means you still don't know.
A lot of things.
You get what I'm saying? So I look forward to the obstacles, because I find that the obstacles is actually where the teaching is. That's where the textbook is, but people avoid the obstacles. It's like, but then what's the point? Because that's where the teaching is. Because I want to know where all the TNT bombs are placed. I need to know, I want to know where the information is so that I know how to maneuver. But then if you don't know where they are, then how are you going to maneuver? Like a person that's born in privileged spaces, once they are removed from spaces of privilege and they
confront suffering
because they have no information. You get what I'm saying? So I'm always looking I enjoy the information. Hence, it's tricky for me to perceive things as bad sometimes, because I perceive them as information that I'm gathering, So I feel like even with the kids of today, if we can remove them from the idea of looking at challenges as a bad thing, or obstacles as a bad thing, or failure, that does not exist. There's no such thing as failure. It's like if I'm trying to do something and I didn't manage to do it, I've just found out information how I shouldn't do it. And let me find out other different types of dynamics of how I shouldn't do it until I know how I can do it. Now, if I teach someone, I've given them a room of different things that they shouldn't do to be able to get to the formula. You get what I'm so now you have all this information. So I always want to seek for that information so that it makes my life simple. It's like
Makes
even
you complete.
when I make music,
Yeah.
I like the process. But when it's done, I can only listen to it.
Yeah. True.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's the process, it's the journey
Figuring
that I
it
enjoy.
out.
Figure
Okay,
things
like-
out.
And that's how you really learn. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I learned mixing. It's like trying to figure out this preset.
And then
okay.
you're like, got it
this
wrong.
thing is not sounding right. Okay, I'll
Exactly.
see it tomorrow. And then,
You get what I'm saying? Those
you could
different
say you failed not one time. I can't mix.
exactly.
Or you can go back and try again until.
That's what the excitement is. So if we can look at life as that excitement, that the difficulties is where the joy is. If you can find joy in the difficulties, then they won't be difficult because you have found joy in the challenges. You get what I'm saying? So with me, locking myself in these different structures, it limits me because I want to grow as much as God wants me to grow. So I don't, as much as yes, you do need to have like some form of anchoring. Find your anchoring.
Yeah, the foundation.
A foundation, however you perceive to find your anchoring, So my anchoring, it's like within myself and within the friends that I've made like you. You're my anchoring because of how you have grown to be a beautiful human being that you have become. You get what I'm saying? You're my anchoring, and the people that I've brought close to me, they're my anchoring. That okay, there must be something right.
That I'm doing to get these people in my life.
Exactly. You get what I'm saying?
You see the fruits.
I see the fruits.
Okay, I'm a guy who's biblical, as well. So I always talk about like the fruits of the spirit, the fruits that produces. You see someone's life if they're living by God, by their fruits. That's how you will know them. So you see, okay, looking at this guy, the type of friends that he has, the type of lifestyle he lives, the way he carries himself, it says a lot more than you saying it. You saying I am this. You actually speak with your surrounding, with your spirit, with everything, your essence in a way.
Yeah, because people see who you are based on your surroundings. You get like you came into my space. My space is already kind of giving you an idea of the type of person I am. Because nothing is for nothing. Remember I said everything is vibration. So I'm vibrating like this. And because of my thought has manifested you to be here in this, has manifested everything. So I'm looking at myself from the outside because my thought is showing me the manifestation of who I am. So you're looking at my thought right now.
Yes.
You get what I'm trying to say?
You
know what I mean? So
that's interesting, man. You were talking about the thing of gathering information, and it took me back to a conversation we once had where you're like, everyone is born with like an empty hard drive. And it makes sense where if you're going to experience life, you have to go through certain obstacles as well. Because it's part of the whole experience. So you're gathering information. Gathering.
Exactly. So that's why I can never judge people that like, especially with, African people, amen. It's a topic that really I hold close to my heart. Like, and I also don't even judge the white people, because now God has allowed me to broaden my mind outside of what's happening in the matrix of the earth. And, and the matrix of the earth is a different dynamic of blacks and whites fighting, and I do see the abuse that the whites have created among the black people. And I do see the anger that the black people are feeling among the white people. But you just like looking at these toxic situations that are constantly doing the same thing all the time. And, and I got to the point where like you just become an ego and you look at what is really happening? Why is this thing continue? Because it started from Hitler and then it went to this, and then it's like the bold and the beautiful. It's a never-ending story.
It's a story.
And you're like, no, man.
Yes. Funny you say that. I want to actually get into you going into the next topic where it's like, do you think people always have control or do you think there's things beyond, like if we're talking about spirituality now, and you also talk about the narrative that the world has been having. Sometimes I'll be thinking there's like a behind the scene type of spiritual warfare going on, with good and evil, or God and the devil, and certain people being used as instruments, vessels, whether good or bad.
So for me, I generally think it is a spiritual warfare, because anything that is physical is a representation of what's happening in the spirit. Yeah. So even and what I even mean, I can take it to the simple thing of anxiety. Anxiety, a person feeling anxious or stressed, is a war within themselves. So it is a spiritual warfare. And then you're feeling anxiety, and you're feeling anxiety, and you're feeling this, and you're feeling that, and we're all feeling this. Something that is taking place in all of us within our spirit. And you feeling this, when we meet, we clash, and we clash. And then, so it is a spiritual warfare. The outcome is the reaction of what's happening. You get what I'm trying to say? So with that being said, that's why for me, when no one wakes up and wants to kill someone.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? That
everyone was a baby once.
Everyone was a baby once.
Was a child.
Empty hard drive. Yeah. They had no concept of the world.
Yeah.
So the concept of the world that they eventually had was all the information that they were thrown in. What's that information? The experience of what they were experiencing, their environment, and that is the only information. So that's the only way they can perceive the world. So they are locked within that system, and they cannot see beyond that prison. So they are going to move like that, because that's who they think they are, because that's the information that is in their consciousness. So then when you look at this person, you're like, and you blame them.
Yeah.
And it's like, but why are you blaming them? Because that's the dynamic of their consciousness. So for me, it's like when someone just wants to kill someone or wants to do something bad, for me, it's like, what is going on in the spirit, emoyeni, for you? Like there's something that's there's a war that's happening, emoyeni. That's the source. So we as human beings, we're not actually looking at the source, at the spiritual warfare that's happening in inside of each and every person. People wanting to drink. No one wants to just always want to drink and forget that there's a war.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So and with the abusers, which is called the whites, the Western people, for them to act the way they are, they clearly are going through much worse pain than, the abuser actually goes through much more worse pain than the one that's beaten. Wow. A man that hits a woman, a man is going through the worst war within them. And because it's happening inside them, it then manifests physically and wants to. So there's a deep war that's happening in men too. You get that's another conversation.
That's another conversation.
But now it made me realize that when I look at the West, I'm like, damn, I wonder what's happening to you guys wanting to spend so much time of your time to want to kill another nation, or want to what is this thing that you're projecting out? Yes, what's the aim? Because clearly you do envy this nation. So you're projecting something that is a war within you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So me having to release myself from religion and all this stuff, because that bounds you into judgment. I have freed myself and kind of wanting to see what's going on in the matrix, so that you are able to maneuver it better. Unlike always being stuck on an obstacle and blaming. White people do this, like and then what are we going to do about it? You get what? Are we going to get to the point where, okay guys, they're doing this, are we going to study their behavior? Are we going to try and develop a high knowledge and wisdom type of intelligence to to see that why is this animal acting this way?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Why? How do we tame it? How do we become higher than what it's going through? Because they going through some, so they probably even seeking our help as black people.
In a way, yeah.
In a way, because the abuser is abusing you. So they probably even asking for help. And we are like the Messiah, the saviors of the world, because we carry the melanin. We are the saviors of the world. You know, so the condition of the world is it's in this condition because of us. And like
if we have to be honest, because I also don't like to be honest and go back to be like, okay, what's the problem with us?
Yes, what happened? How did we let the world get to this point if we were the chosen ones?
Wow.
So I'm willing to look at myself before like
pointing out
like how are you responsible for the way the world has become? What are you doing about it?
Man.
Because if we are the messiahs and we hold we hold the melanin, you know, and we are the high beings, that we were supposed to foresee what's happening in the world. So clearly we're doing a bad job at it because we're not healing the people. We're not trying to heal or trying to guide them. Instead, we get involved in their wars, because the war that they are bringing to us is a war that's happening in them. So we just seeing what's happening in them spiritually.
Out now. In the open.
Out in the open.
Yeah.
It's manifesting because it's a war that's happening within that community. You get what I'm saying?
You actually kind of see it sometimes how they do with it. Like you see a lot of drug uses amongst them, you know,
exactly.
like these hard drugs.
Yeah, because I was even talking about this philosophy to another guy that, you know, when I was looking at the old ways of the way Africa was, you know, in terms of the people who were not dressed in clothes, the African people had this pride in them, and then they had this freedom, you know, and then
all these resources.
And you get what I'm saying? And then I could imagine that these 7 deadly sins, these apparent 7 deadly sins, were brought to us. And why I say that is because if I could imagine you not knowing yourself as a person from a different place, you know, which was the West. They see this African person walking in the field with this pride, but this pride is the knowing of thyself, and it has nothing to do with the pride that you. So then you what? Reflecting what you see, you perceiving your own war, or lust. You seeing this naked woman, because if we are all naked in Africa, then lust didn't really exist. So then you are projecting because you're seeing these people walking naked. So you're lusting. So now you're bringing your own wars upon these, and you're teaching your religious system to like, this is lust. This is, and then what was the other one? The lazy one. There's one of the 7.
No, not gluttony.
No, there's not. There's the one where, because now you're free. There's abundance of everything. You know, you're walking in the fields. There's freedom, and then you call it. I forgot there's a term for the one of the 7 deadly sins, the lazy one. So, but because you're projecting that now, like, look how lazy they are.
Oh. Just because they're a place of rest.
Yes, because everything is abundant. You don't need to buy food.
Wow.
You don't need to buy anything. Everything is for free. You get, so it's that freedom. So now, if you look at the 7 deadly sins like properly, like really properly, you get to see that a lot of these things were projections. You know, like, and just based on my philosophy, and then we also took it in.
Then we also projected
exactly, because then what the actual projection becomes a virus. So now, hence you as a child, you got information data that became a virus to then create this person, this angry being. So they brought all of that energy upon the African people. Their projections, and then this is the state that we are in.
That's the best way
we
to
have
explain.
forgotten ourselves.
Yeah.
That's just my philosophy.
Damn, I mean, if you guys have any others, please put it in the comments, man.
Yeah.
I feel like that was interesting.
Yeah, man.
I was thinking about something, man. I wanted to ask about it, but I think I kind of forgot it. But it had something to do with the nationality thing, like the fights that are going on.
Yeah. Or in terms of the tribalism type of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we can sort of touch on that as we go into.
Because when you say
tribes.
Nationality,
yes, nationality.
Position it in tribes.
Like I try to position it in either racial, either tribal, because it's always the idea of not like me.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
You're not me. You're
Yes.
something else.
Yeah.
That idea, you know, like we're not one. We're not all human. You are this and you are that.
Yeah.
You know, it's also kind of like a projection of that self. They call it self-hate from some people that I spoke about. Would you agree that
it's definitely a self-hate? You know, when
you speak of self-hate, I guess you are like what you were saying. You're projecting what's going on, the war
inside of you.
Yeah. So okay, I feel you.
So it's almost like you don't even know that you like a lot of people on, or let me rather say in South Africa. I'm not gonna speak about the world because I'm speaking about where I am, what I have experienced. You know, yes, I've gotten a glimpse of what's happening in the world, but again, I don't want to move with that because that's via social media. So I know who's in control of that system. They push what you want, you know. So I understand that.
Why do you think? Yeah, actually, about that, why do you think that is? Say things like this maybe won't be as popular. You know, what's popular is sex, drugs.
Yeah, because then that's how you destroy a nation. That's how you tackle them. That's how you put them into slavery. You get what I'm saying? Is because you are inflicting the wars that's happening inside of you to destroy them because you came from a space of being destroyed. You know, so you then sell that those systems can work against them, and then you use their systems to then heal yourself because now they are now attending a lot of these rich. I like ayahuascas and all these spiritual things. And things that just changed now. You know, people are walking on the road, doing long distance running, walking in their dogs, and I'm like, that looks a lot like a thing that Africans used to do with animals in the wild.
Talking to animals.
Yeah, so we are busy stuck in. While they are moving towards who we were, they can never really get there because who we are is who we are, you know. So we can really they can only study and teach and learn, but still not really get to the essence of it. But based on that, we are now involved in the world of Chisanyama, wanting to get to sleep with the next girl and the next girl, alcohol.
It becomes a cycle.
You get
paid and then you do this.
You know, and then there's and the outcome, and you're like, what is the outcome of this all? Have we built a nation? Like, what are we doing?
Self-destruction.
It's a self-destruction thing, and we've inherited things that are not ours, and I'm not even going to blame it that it's them because we still had the choice to inherit it.
True choice. Choice is a big
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why it's free will, because you still had to have the choice to say, okay, I'm gonna partake into this thing, and you know. So I understand the systems, and hence Hitler said, "Repeat the lie until it's the truth." You know, so they are able to repeat it through social media, and you see the ad consistently, and you don't know that you are being programmed the whole time, even in music words consistently being thrown, billboards, and you know, you are influenced by your environment. You are influenced by, so that's why with me, I understand that the five senses is where the entry point is. You understand? Because that's what we came here to experience through as a spirit, through the five senses. So the five senses are the absorber of information. So because I understand this, I then chose upon myself that I need to change my personal me as the God spirit that God has
change
created.
yourself first.
Change me, and by changing me, I need to change my environment. The things that are going to also hypnotize me into the person that I want to be. You know, so I have to choose the friends that I need to, because they are part of my environment.
Yeah.
You get. I have to choose what I look at. I have to choose what I listen to, because then I understand. And once I change the environment, then I'm changing myself, because I'm locked into this environment, and this environment is now growing me, cultivating me as a child. And then I become a lot more confident, and I become a lot more, because then it's all that I'm watching. It's all that I'm listening to. You get what I'm saying?
So training your mind, you know, and it's
you get what I'm saying. And because we move with the spirit of the Creator, which is God, you can create yourself. You can build yourself through your environment. You get what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
Yeah.
So speaking about God, since we're talking about like the virus and everything, because I do see, you know, the Bible will describe it as sin, like as a virus that enters a human. Like you say, you're born, you get this knowledge, and then becomes a virus that grows. And as it says, it leads to death. And it does. We've seen cases where those decisions, maybe you're drunk and driving, you're going fast, you know, you get an accident, you die. It's a cause and ripple effect of your virus. So what is your take on like I like to call it maybe the antivirus? What is the antivirus to you? Would you say maybe the Christ consciousness, or the coming of Christ? What is your take on Christ or the belief?
Well, my take on Christ is the spirit that is going to, well, I believe that the chosen ones, I guess, are the actual Christ, you know. And why I say that is because if you look at, you know, I actually need to attend to this. It's a good question, because, you know, a lot of us African people like, Christ was white, or all of that. Another matrix, another. I'm like, they caught you again, because now they're getting you to discuss that, and I'm like, okay. So when I see a discussion that of some sort of that dynamic taking place, I always want to look deeper, you know. So I always have to be the eagle. That's why the eagle is such a powerful animal for me, because it can look at things from the surface, you know. And I'm like, what is the story here? And I'm like, okay, this Christ person, what's the matter? Why is it aggravating people? You know, and yes, we all know that he was black, but that doesn't really that's not the point.
It's not the point.
The point is, what are you learning from the way he walked? How is it making you a better person? You get what I'm saying? So when I looked into the story of Christ and I really dug deep into it, I realized that I'm also a Christ. You also a Christ. Everyone that is chosen to lead people is a Christ. So it's the awakening of the Christ consciousness. And why I say that is because when you came here on earth, when you were birthed into this physical realm, you were birthed with an empty hard drive, just like he was birthed with an empty hard drive. So it's like God had to forget himself to then come really experience the pain of what the world is going through. So he needed to collect data and experience being sworn at, everything, just like how you as a child, you had bad experiences and stuff like that, and all of it. Can't you, the whole time you're realizing you're just collecting the state of the world's data. And at some point, you have to then wake up and say, oh, all my experiences was the information I was collecting, because this information is telling me the energy that the world is currently running at. So it is the energy I'm supposed to heal in human being. So all my experiences, because I had an absent father, it means that I have that information now, which means I have to heal people that have an absent father. Because a girl had a physical abusing situation, now they have to heal that so that they can now start a gym to teach women how to self-defend themselves. So your actual experiences are your actual purposes. So you're literally finding out information of what your purpose is. So that's the awakening of the Christ, because now you are awakening yourself out and stop blaming that, this person did this to me. This is like, no, they were supposed to do that to you because they were chosen to deliver that information to you. And once you then realize this, and then you're awakening, and that's when Christ came here to learn the sins of the earth. And that's why when he was on the cross, as we were discussing the other day, that God, why have you forsaken me? Because he came on into this earth to forget himself as a higher being, so that he can truly experience, so he can be human and receive all this data. And the biggest one that he had to face before going on the cross, which we all face to this day, is fear. So at that point, he probably then had forgotten himself of who we are, because he was facing the last biggest challenge, which is the fear, and then that's when he said, God, why have you forsaken me? It's like you say, why have you forsaken myself? Why have I forsaken myself?
We all have that question. It's like, where's God?
Where's God?
What's going on?
So that's used like, why have I forsaken myself? And then that's when he was like, it is done. Meaning, I've done what I came here to do, to remind them that they are me. So he just came to remind us who we are. So we need to rise that Christ consciousness, and understand what's happening. Why are we experiencing what we're experiencing? How can we change it with our consciousness? How can we start healing within ourselves to then start healing the world? So I know that I came here to heal the earth. And what healing the earth does not necessarily mean I'm this giant God and everyone is healed. No, it just means that each and every opportunity where I got to experience time with you, how do I heal you through this interview? By just saying all these different things. Every opportunity for me is a healing moment for you and for me. So all the people that I try and heal, they come and they speak their story. Their story heals me, because I'm like, I'm looking at my next experiences through their story, and they don't even know that they're healing me. You get what I'm saying?
By being truthful too. Like, I feel like also that's where people shouldn't be afraid to be vulnerable, like you said, as a leader, because when you're vulnerable, you're actually connecting with someone else's insecurities, maybe, or whatever they're dealing with, and you can actually heal it. Or if you have overcome it, you are able now to help the one who's still there and be like, dude, I know exactly how that feels because I was there. And when you tell your story, they can recognize like, oh snap, this guy really knows what I'm going through. And you actually now bring them into your space. And then that's where the healing happens.
And guess what? Because you had collected that data.
Because I collected that data.
To be able to then heal them. Your actual detriment is your actual power. Man.
And you don't see it like that in the moment, bro. Like, when you're going through it, I guess it's like that thing of forgetting yourself. Because when you're actually going through it, you do have times where you forget yourself. Where you're just like, I'm here now, like, it's painful, like, I don't care, or whatever. And then afterwards, you think back, you're like, what was I thinking? Like,
because you don't know you're busy collecting your power in all of that abuse.
Dang.
And then you have to now rise as a superhero, So, like, so for me, it's like, right now, God is rising up his superheroes, and there has to be, and the superheroes need to rise up the other superheroes. So that's right now, that is our purpose now. We need to find other superheroes to rise because they're gonna help us rise even better and better and better. So it's like that saying, what, the more of me in one room,
The more, two or more gathered in my name, I'm there also.
Thank you. You see those concepts,
Yeah.
People are really not understanding. So when you're in religion, you might just be.
Yes, you actually learn a lot more
when you're outside.
The walk.
Exactly.
I feel like it's one thing to get information from like hearsay or theories. It's another to actually practice.
Exactly.
And to walk it.
Exactly.
Because even in the struggles is where that thing comes out.
Yeah.
It's like you're being it's like being put against the wall.
Yeah.
And you're forced to act. You're forced to actually become.
Yeah.
That's where most of my growth also came from. It's like being placed in situations that forced me to actually live up to what I claim.
Yeah.
I can claim it and be like, I'm this, but till I'm put to the test and I'm actually there and actually overcome or come out of it, then I really know me.
That's the biggest challenge.
Yes, then you actually realize what you have or who you are.
And then that's when you realize that knowledge is not the data necessarily, but the action of it is the actual knowledge. It's almost like how in some of my therapeutic sessions with the woman that I heal, I assist, let me rather say assist in their journey, they will tell me a typical scenario like maybe the guy is abusive or something like that. And then it's like, but he tells me he loves me. He always tells me, it's like, yeah, but that's a sound coming out of the mouth.
Ooh.
It's a sound.
Yeah.
Because love is a verb,
Nah.
It
literally is like a doing word.
Yeah, it's a doing word. Like you're telling me about a sound. You're mesmerized by a sound.
Yeah.
Because it's literally because remember, words we've got to an agreement that this is what this vowel means.
Yeah.
So the word or go. But when you really think about it, it's a sound. Go. So you as human beings have created this vowels, these dynamics to make sound, and then said, okay, when I make this sound, it means this. So I remove the meaning and go to the sound, and I'm like, but it's just a sound.
Yeah, true. And even with the words, it could mean different things in different cultures, different places.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so with me, I look at things from that perspective where I literally try and go to the root, That's why even African language compared to the English, that African language is the highest of vibration. So I always understand the thing of vibration also. So that's why when you swear in an African language,
it hits more.
It hits more.
Yeah.
Because you're hearing the vibration.
The actual expression of that. Yeah.
It's the vibration.
It's
the sound vibration. Not the word. The actual sound.
That's it.
Yes.
You can actually taste it.
You get what I'm saying? It's the vibration because the emotion, because emotion is what shifts vibration. So the emotion of it, especially when you express it from an emotional, you're feeling the vibration. Think about it like this. You as a kid, you used to listen to, I don't know if you used to listen to Boys to Men, right?
I did at some point.
Okay. Or any love song.
I love love.
As a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they speak these things in the song and you're like, yo.
Yes.
And you're feeling it, right? But you've never been through it.
Oh, I feel you. I get where you're going with it.
So you're feeling the vibration, the emotion. That person is able to transfer. And then when it arrives in you, one of your five senses, it vibrates. And then it changes your feeling. And you're like, oh, wow.
It's like sound also in music.
Sound is powerful. And
that's why you can also hear songs, maybe like you don't understand the language, but you can still feel it.
Yes.
It's like you can understand it without really understanding the words.
In the beginning was the word. And already that
says a lot.
That says a lot, exactly. You know, and that's how they actually, let me tell you, they're actually controlling the world with sound. Music is actually God, that the God of everything, and that's how they're controlling the world, because that's where the hypnotism state goes in. When you're listening, especially with these clubs and stuff like that, and I think I did send you that thing. I don't know if you had a look at it, especially with clubs and all
when
these.
he speaks about music.
Yeah, you know, I already had knew that information for some time now, where you always listening to the song in the background and it's talking about you know, and you don't know that you're recording data slowly, and then it becomes
then you become it.
You don't see yourself, you know. And now what makes it worse is when they throw the things that will amplify it. And what makes it easy is, the thing is, how they catch you is the vibration of the song, the beat, you know, the emotion. And all they need to do is put words in, because they know that the beat and all has captured the emotion.
Capturing the emotion.
So then they pushing the word. They're pushing the. Now when you drink alcohol, even worse. Now they've got you. Drugs, alcohol. Now it's just it's a vibe, and you're intoxicated, and these words are just coming in as spells. Wow. That's why they call it a spell.
It's a spell.
And then you become that. You know what I mean? So, hey, music is powerful.
Spell out these words. Hey.
Yeah. Music is powerful. Out of all arts, I really think it's the one that takes the.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I had a crossroad at some point in my life, because I also make music, and before I wasn't making it for the right reasons, but like you said, we all had to learn at some point. And I realized that there isn't enough people, let's say mainstream, that are putting out things that are actually healing us. And if these people actually wanted to heal us as much as they say, then things like that shouldn't be so magnified. You know, because if you understand music, like you said, it's a power, it's a superpower. Actually, I feel it's a superpower in a sense. And I feel like people who also want to heal the world, who maybe have light in them, are also shy away from going in there, because they know it's not acceptable. So because of wanting money or wanting something out of it, they rather compromise themselves, you know, in order to do that. But it also does a lot of damage to them in the long run, you know, because now you're also putting out a certain projection, and you're gonna get it back, you know, and you're gonna attract those things and attract those people who are gonna magnify it, like you say.
But you also realize that in the way they design the system, they have managed to transform, to make you believe that your value as a human being lies in money.
Also where your value lies.
So you have to get that thing so that you feel valuable. And yet money is an instrument that needs human being to use it. Otherwise, if we we done with money is just paper.
It's just paper.
So
we put the idea on it. We put the power on it.
So money needs human being to even have power.
True.
So now,
so who has the power?
So who has the power?
Where's the value?
Where is the value? Where is the true value? So you need to find the true value. So now what happened is, because they removed the value out of you and put it in money, you're going to try and chase what you think is the value. And in order for you to chase what you think is value, you then going to what? Sell your values. You're going to sell your values to gain a illusion of what value is, so that you can be seen in it, to cater to the
And it's all like,
it's all a trick.
And it's so crazy because if you're in that matrix, it's like it's a
man,
public consciousness who agree to this value.
Dude.
So now you're caught
in it.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? You're caught in it. So it's all tricks. It's all tricks. So now you're selling your soul. You're selling, I'm just going to say your value. Like to grab something that you think will give you value.
And then you find yourself empty.
And then you just want to chase,
like,
make more money.
How is this guy depressed when he's got all
of this money?
That's them projecting what they see valuable.
Exactly. How can he be? He has everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the true value.
Yeah.
And that's why you chasing money. As you're chasing a lot of money, you don't even know that you're trying to chase yourself the whole time. Because you're trying to chase the value.
Wow.
And the value is inside. But you don't know that you're chasing that value.
Yeah.
You and then it's empty, but you have all the... I've seen it. With people that are wealthy,
Yeah.
That have, and it's just like, I look at them and it's like, you're so poor, all you have is money.
Wow.
You're so poor, all you have is money.
And most of us give into that lie and we chase it when we get there. And
you're
always hearing it from these people, but we don't take it for what it is. We don't take it in when they're like, nah, guys, it's tough at the top. Or, nah, man, it's not the way I thought. It's not what I thought. Or it's lonely at the top. Or all of these different phrases people put out,
Because they didn't also create, when you say you're lonely at the top, you had to start in the bottom. And what you need to do in the bottom, create your experience, create yourself as a friend, as I've created. I've manifested you into my life, and I'm grateful for that, and so as much as I know I'm going to this top, because you need to also define what the top is, but I need to ground myself. I need to, so that when I rise with all those that I've created my experience, so that it doesn't get low.
Yes, so that it keeps
you get what I'm saying? Because you guys are my anchor. So as much as I do get to this top, whatever this top is, but I know where my anchoring is. So I need to put value in my anchoring, so I need to put value into this friendship that we have, and value into all the friendships that I've created,
Putting value in love.
Exactly.
The actual force of love.
Exactly. Because the thing is, you still need this money to use it
within this
construct of them. Because if you're in an island, are you still going to use it?
No.
So you realize the values in the human being.
Yeah, true.
You get what I'm saying? Because you want to still spend the same money with other human beings.
Yeah.
And, so I understand this, because I'm like, okay, so if I went to an island and then there's this money and all these cars, I'm just going to look at them. But I know that, what would you want as a human being? An island with everything. All the cars, you are alone. You are nice, but you are alone. Or a space where you are with people that no money, nothing. You have a shelter, you have food to eat. Everything is free. No money, nothing that is going to make you feel better than someone, or but you are just with friends, family, and you get what I'm saying. In an island locked, what would you rather be in? Then you realize it, but you'd rather be with the people. So but that's where the value is, because you still need to use this money to cater to the people, Even when you as a person don't love yourself, or you have a low self-esteem and you don't know you do, you still need to dress up in things so that your haters can see you in it. So you still need the haters for you to act this way. You see, or even these people that say, there's these people that say, I made it on my own, or I'm a self-made millionaire. I'm like,
Kanjan.
Kanjan.
Yeah.
Because didn't you need human beings to buy your CD or to, like, how did you
There's a lot
create,
of elements in it.
Where did you get the money from? The banks?
Banks, yep.
Do banks have people that work?
Yep.
Like,
yep. Yeah. Even the thing you're successful in, who created that? Who created the laptop? And
you get what I'm saying?
Everything.
The clothes that you're wearing, the car that you're buying,
Yeah.
self-made. And then I realized that the value are in the human being. That's why I focus more on the human being than, because I know that's where the true value is. You know
things
what I
are
mean?
things.
Things are things. You put the value in the human being because it's the same human being that's going to make you wealthy. So why not just put the value in
Yeah.
It's a shortcut. If you're going to be a billionaire one day, and I've put so much of my time to help you, you know, I know that the chances of me doing well are high because then you're going to then, boy, let me fund your situation. Let me.
Or let's go. Sometimes you'll find yourself, because this guy wants someone to hang with, they trust, and they have the money to go to places. They're gonna take you with. So now you're already existing in this abundance with that person.
Exactly. So I could literally just live a free life just based on the value that I've put in people, and they'll just take care of me. And all I need to do is just value. Because that's what Michael Jackson did. He was need to take care of the world with his talent. Let me give you my talent as much as you can. Like, you just pay me for it. You just take care of me by sharing my time. So I'm living this free life.
Being me.
Just
being me.
So find your value. You know? That's the. I think that's
the big message.
Big message. Find your value. As a human being.
What can you bring?
What can you bring?
A human experience.
Exactly.
Look at yourself.
Exactly. Whilst we're chasing how people look at us, you don't know that you're still falling into the same trap. You're busy wanting to enter these competitions, you know, and you just like, but you're still empty, you know, and you just like, you're always chasing to cater for how people look at you. You're always forever and ever and ever going to be stuck. I can promise you that. You can cater to people's how they see you and acquire things, but you are going to always be on your own in your mind, and you will know the truth, and that's the hell you don't want.
You will always know the truth.
You will always know the truth, no matter what. But I'd rather cry in a Bentley. You cry. Uyakhala. What is the Bentley? You can only look at it. It's catering to your eyes. That's all it is. But where's the value? You are in pain. That is where the value is.
Because it's also with things, you always get used to it. No matter how beautiful something is, it's gonna come a point where it's normal now.
You get what I'm saying?
Things get exciting till they get normal.
Amen.
Always.
Even this thing of women bleaching their skin, man. It's sad, like the world where like it's like, you know, it's a topic I don't. Oh, you wanna check with me?
I knew it.
Oh yeah. So I was saying, man, with regards to where
you're saying the bleaching.
The thing of you know, woman, man, and it's something that I don't want to dabble too much into, you know, because I know it's a very sensitive thing, because it's like, who am I, whatever, you know, but I still feel like man has to still voice out their opinion as much as women have to voice out their opinion on us, you know. And for me, the one thing that really saddens me about like a woman with bleaching their skins, and in order for them to feel beautiful, or putting that amount of makeup in order for them to feel a certain way, it made me question the thing that, and how did we get to a point where you have to be covered in something, or you have to have something changed in order for you to feel beautiful? Because at the end of the day, you had to collect that data
Yeah.
At some point.
Some
That
insecurities
information,
were built
yes.
up. Yeah.
You had to collect that. How is your mind saying the light skin is the beauty, right? Because then you were in an environment that said the light skin is the beauty. Because you didn't just wake up as a kid, the light skin is the beauty, as a dark person or whatever. You had to receive the information somewhere. And then that information, then you compared yourself to that information. I'm dark. It means I'm not beautiful. You see already that toxicity already with the environment is like, but you were birthed like this.
Yeah.
The fact that you were birthed like this, you're already beautiful.
Yeah.
So all these things need us, either our makeup, all these things, they need us. So the beauty begins here. Either way.
Wow.
Either way.
It goes back to that thing, we're placing the value into that.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. If you're saying it's toys and you're playing, but when it's, I've seen girls come at the gym wearing makeup and stuff, and I'm like, man, obviously I can never judge. You never judge. You just need to understand what's happening.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
It's that place of concern.
But I will still want to say my opinion. You get what I'm saying? That like what really went down for you to feel as a little girl with whatever environment you're in that told you that not having your own hair is what beauty is, not having the actual your skin color is actually what beauty is, not having your skin covered in a layer of sand or whatever, because it's makeup, whatever, a layer of sand to cover. What are you covering? What are you? Because in true essence, you're hiding something because you're covering something. So you're covering
like a mask.
You're saying what I'm covering is uglier because I feel more beautiful in this. So what are you saying? You're saying that you're covering is not as beautiful. As when you are in the
covering.
Not even to say it's uglier. I'm just saying you're saying that you're covering. You get what I'm saying?
Because you're always communicating as a person in some way.
You get what I'm saying? So all of these, man, is for me, it's like it's a toxic thing that the earth has put onto human being, and that's what we need to heal. We need to tell human being that forget the value that the world has told you about yourself. You need to find the value in you, and you need to rise with that value. You get what I'm saying? So those are the things. That's the type of therapy that I put through people at the gym. Having these chats, and making them understand that your physical body is a representation of your spirit. Even the whole thing of these of people like being very chubby and feeling proud and what else. Like, no, it's not healthy. It's a representation of your spirit, of something that you need to work in. And you try to convince me. It already shows that there's something that you need to work on. You have to represent a spirit of healthiness. And I'm not saying be thin. No, thin is also the complete opposite when you overly, anorexic or something. You get what I'm saying?
So you're saying like the human experience needs to kind of have a certain balance to things. Like how life is a balance.
You know what I mean?
How God is a balance.
Because I already know being fat, your body only needs fat for certain objectives that it needs to do. Anything extra is a weight you're carrying, dead matter. So what is it doing there? You get what I'm saying? So for me is that matter, what is it representing spiritually? Because it was manifested from the spirit. So I already know that there's something in the spirit, in the emotion that is occurring So I already know that that thing that I'm looking at that's happening to you is representing something. So that's how I don't want to isolate the physical and the spiritual like they two different. No,
Two different, yeah,
you
yeah.
get information about the spiritual through the physical.
So it is in heaven, so it is on earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in earth. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
As it is above,
so below. Yeah. it's like I see physical life as like an echo.
Yes.
Yes. And then it becomes.
You must put that in one of your raps.
That'll be dope. For sure.
Yeah, that'll be
all right,
dope.
man.
Yeah.
I know it's been an interesting conversation, man.
Yeah.
I think just to kind of go to a close,
yeah,
I wanna know we're present, but we also can see future, right?
Yeah.
Where do you see the future headed in general? And then for you also, where do you see yourself in the future?
I see myself rising as a god with other gods, such as yourself, rising to create to bring back the kings of the past, and recreate a new culture of love, a brand new culture of love. I see myself living, us establishing great amounts of lands where we have established a new way of living. I see myself being in spaces where the most basic thing that a human being needs is food, water, and shelter. So that should be free, because animals get that. And we are the human animals. So those are the most basic thing that each and every human being is supposed to get. So I'm seeing myself being part of the people that are going to create this new earth for people, where all you need to do is share your talent. You don't need to be stressing about using your talent so that you can eat. No, eat is a freedom. Eating's supposed to be a freedom, because the earth gives you food for free. So why are you selling the food that the earth is giving? It's weird that processed food is more expensive than healthy food, and yet there's more work that's put into processed food, because healthy food, you don't need to do work. All you need to do is pick it up from there. And processed food, you have to do all these things. But yet the one that they have put more work in is more expensive. So I just thought that healthy food in actual fact are supposed to be expensive, but already that exposes what the plan is.
Wow.
Yeah. You get, but that is going off topic. But I see a world of that where such things where food, shelter, water, is for free, and the new currency will be your talent, and what I mean your talent, where people will just like you because of the value that you bring into the community. Oh, he's so funny, so he's a comedian. So your value is that people want to just listen to you and your value is people will just want to listen to your music. That is your currency. You get what I'm saying? So that's what you're going to use to take care of yourself. You just need to be yourself, because already everything is taken care of. So you're just now sharing who you truly are. You're expressing you have find a new voice of expressing yourself outside of the mouth speaking. You saying, okay, I have a new way of wanting to express myself. Let me build a sculpture. And then people listen to the sculpture with your eyes. I'm speaking through the sculpture, through your eyes, and your music, I'm speaking into your ears. And then the babies are a chef, I'm speaking my voice through your tongue, so that you can taste my food. It's like, this food tastes good. Who did it? I like your voice. I like your spirit. Why? I can taste it in the food.
Wow. The
You get-
healers as well.
You get what I'm saying? All these,
Doctors.
doctors, clothes. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing a world the true African, they say the real African kings are supposed to be showing the value in how much they can give, not how much they can take. So we have the kings of today is how much they can take from the world and keep. Because when you keep something and you lock it shows you that how less you have.
Less you have. If you're trying to hold on,
You're
less.
You're
You have
less.
less.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
true African show values how
Abundance.
much you can give, because there's like it doesn't end.
Yeah.
That's how wealthy I am.
Yeah, I can
it doesn't end. I don't have to hold on to anything.
Yeah, true.
So that's the true value.
Yeah. Wealth is actually being able to give.
To give.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want a world like that, and I'm stepping my foot to say I want to be part of the kings and queens and the gods that will create this new earth. So
Do you think that's the intention of what the Almighty created us for?
yeah, that was. If you think about it, obviously the Almighty created Himself through us. Well, He didn't create Himself. He just
Breath of life.
Yeah, He just said,
Put
let me
his
let me
DNA.
experience myself through these human beings. That's why I call us the gods. Because He's experiencing. Because it's like when I tell, it's like people's like, no, you can't call yourself a god. It's like, but then if God, for example, is like,
Always make this example. Why are you human? Because you're birthed by a human.
yes,
So
you get what I'm saying. So it's like God created something out of Himself because He's everything, right? So why wouldn't that something not then be His? Because that's His material.
Yeah, because that's it's birthed by God.
by God. So that's Him.
Yeah.
So it's not possible that He didn't create something outside of Himself, because there
Yeah.
is no outside of Himself. So it's like a glass of water filled with water, and you pour half of it into another glass. It's the same water. You get what I'm trying? So that's why I'm saying gods, and we need to be proud of saying this. That because if you're saying we are the gods, then you're saying you are a child of God, because you're saying I'm His image, I'm His spirit. You get what I'm saying? So because you're His image and your spirit, you're saying that you are gods.
I think that's where, like, touching on that story, I think that's where the deception came in. Like, made us doubt who we really were.
Yeah,
because
you
the
get what I'm
deception
saying?
was like, you guys can be like God. We're already like God.
We're
Like,
already-
we took in that lie to
Exactly.
be like, okay, let's be like
God
God.
was like-
and then now we went outside of being like
exactly.
God.
You get what I'm saying? But getting back to your question, that God had obviously was the thought, which then wanted to experience things into the physical, and then had vibrated things to then express themselves into this physical, and then placed His air. That's why they say when you're king, you are the heir. So God, we are the king. So He pushed His air into this physical body to then experience Him. So me and you is pretty much one being. So this is an illusion of you having this body with whatever. One day we'll be like in Him, it's like, I'm. So right now it's like He's playing this foolery. You get it's like, I'm everything, but anyway, so it's almost like we're placed in these bodies with these senses to then have experience of feeling this couch, to have the experience of tasting something, to have experience of hearing something, to smell something. So that was the value for us, to have the experience of gathering this information through these senses. So these senses are actually the value that God has given us. So for us to actually be a spirit that kind of has to process what physical reality is through these senses of touch, taste, smell. Hence, they use the same 5 senses to enter into you. So I understand that's where it begins. You know? So I think that's what God had given us as human beings to experience the earth. And when we arrive here, He provided for us abundantly, because we could just eat from the ground directly. We could just have shelter. And then he said, procreate. So we were living Gamnandi, you know, and then
we gave into the land.
We gave into the ish.
Yeah.
Because we thought we were lacking.
Oh, it's all the same design, same system.
Reverse. Psychology.
Dang. Alright, now man, I think let's close it there, bro. This was a freaking great conversation.
No, for sure, man.
I'm happy I was able to do this again, and thank you also, you know, opening up yourself.
It's a pleasure.
Sharing as much as you did. I hope that you guys have taken something from this. All of this is about learning, you know, we're all gathering information, as we said, and sometimes you might find you might have the answers within, but you just need some, you know, confirmation or validation or a reminder. I like to call it remembering.
Remembering.
You know, coming to a place, and I think we're just there to help each other out. Some have went out and dug out certain knowledge from somewhere and brought it to our attention. You know, that's their work. We get archaeologists, so all these different people. We all have a service to play. So find your service, find your purpose. Who are you? What do you have to bring that we can, you know, learn from and grow from? It's all about love and light, man. And I think I'm going to close it here. Thank you a lot.
Peace,
sir. We'll check you. Peace.